step right onto the misty moors and the treacherous pitching decks of what is, honestly, one of English literature's most thrilling adventure novels. We are talking about Kidnapped by Robert Louis Stevenson. If you're someone who loves tales of high-stakes survival, incredibly deep friendships, and, some really cold, calculated betrayal, then you are in the exact right place for this explainer. Let's get right into it. The year is 1886. That's when this absolute, timeless classic was published. But Stevenson actually winds the clock back even further for our story, dropping us right into the middle of 18th century Scotland. And let me tell you, this setting is just dripping with intense political tension, wild, unforgiving landscapes, and quite literally absolute danger around every single corner. And the story really does not waste any time getting started. Orphaned, tricked, kidnapped. That is the brutal, rapid-fire sequence of events for our young protagonist, David Balfour. See, David actually believes his future is completely secure after his father's death, so he sets off to claim his rightful inheritance. But instead, he is met with a sudden, devastating betrayal that flips his whole world upside down. And that betrayal, it comes straight from the hands of Ebenezer Balfour, David's very own uncle. Instead of finding, this loving relative he totally expects to mate at the House of Shaws, David walks in on a greedy, incredibly secretive man. Ebenezer is absolutely terrified that his nephew might have a legal claim to his precious wealth. So rather than welcoming David with open arms, Ebenezer actually plots against him. He literally tricks David onto a ship entirely against his will, turning him into a prisoner. And just like that, he ties this deeply personal family betrayal into a much larger, much darker conspiracy. The ship carrying a now captive David eventually meets with an absolute, catastrophic disaster, literally thrusting him onto the unforgiving shores of the Scottish Highlands. And remember, these Highlands are dangerous, and they are deeply politically divided at this time. He is completely 100% out of his element here, just fighting day by day simply to survive. Now, what's really interesting about this contrast is the incredible dynamic between our two main characters. On one side, we have our guy, David Balfour. He's inexperienced, he's a bit naive, and he's really just beginning to understand the immense dangers surrounding him. But on the exact opposite side, we meet Alan Breck Stewart. Alan is fearless, he's highly skilled, and he is deeply, deeply political. He is an experienced Highland fighter, and honestly, he is perhaps the single most exciting character in the entire book. But here's the kicker. Despite these massive, massive differences between them, extreme survival circumstances force these complete opposites into a shared daily reality. They basically have no choice but to depend heavily on each other. They've got to escape relentless enemies, face incredibly sudden violence, and somehow navigate this ridiculously complex web of political conflict. And they have to do all of this while traveling through the absolute most treacherous parts of Scotland. It's wild. But through this intense shared struggle, a really profound bond is forged between them. What starts out feeling like just a simple adventure quickly evolves into something so much deeper. We watch a personal survival struggle transform into an intense exploration of growing up. We actually get to see David shift from this innocent, sheltered boy into a truly independent and courageous young man. And beautifully woven right into this journey are these heavy, powerful themes of friendship, true loyalty, deep betrayal, and of course, a fascinating, historically rich look into a severely politically fractured Scotland. So the crucial point is really this painfully core lesson. Family does not always mean trust. I mean, think about it. His entire nightmare begins strictly because of a blood relative's greed. And yet, where does he find true loyalty, genuine protection, and real brotherhood? He finds it in Alan, a guy who, at the start of this, was a complete and total stranger. It's exactly elements like this that make the novel so incredibly enduring even today. It delivers this unforgettable sense of adventure. We're talking secret plans, wild, breathless escapes, and intense battles, all while completely immersing us in this vivid, incredibly beautiful Scottish atmosphere. Stevenson's rich, detailed descriptions of the mountains, the dense forests, the islands, and those little villages, it all creates a totally immersive journey. And above everything else, that deep, emotional friendship between David and Alan, it gives the story incredible heart. It completely elevates it far, far beyond just a simple escape plot. Which brings us right to our final verdict for this classic. We're giving it a very strong 4.5 out of 5 stars. Now, I will give a quick caveat. It's definitely worth noting that the language can sometimes feel just a little bit old-fashioned to modern readers. But hey, do not let that stop you. Robert Louis Stevenson masterfully, and I mean masterfully, combines actual history and pure adventure into a story of courage and sheer survival. A story that remains absolutely gripping well over a century later. So that leaves us with one final, very important thought. Would you read Kidnapped?